Hey guys, welcome to another Let's Chat Aqua, and welcome to my live stream. And if you're new here to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so that you'll get notified when I release new videos and stuff like that. And if you're new, or if you're my subscriber currently, make sure you hit that bell button. And also like this video, as well as when this is done, leave comments down below and share where you can, blah blah blah, you know, all that fancy schmancy stuff. And welcome to another Friday evening. Thank you for joining me today, and we already got people in chat, been waiting for a couple minutes now, so thank you guys waiting patiently and stuff. And we had a kind of a little conversation going. First of all, let's do a kind of a shout out for those that were waiting past the dirt road. Hopefully you're still in this chat. He just found my channel last night, and he's going to be attempting his first blinded tank, so that's going to be really awesome. Hope you're going to have fun with it. If you have any questions, you know where to ask. And Simpy82, I'm going to start calling you Simpy. We had a nice discussion about his CO2 problem. He's got that Insta 42 gram. He said it ran out in 3 or 4 days, and that's about right. You might be able to get a week, maybe 2 weeks out of it, but dude, that's why that you got it for so cheap, because one, the replacements for a 45 gram canister is like horridly expensive, okay, which you've already found out. And second, it's a small canister. It's 45 grams. It's not going to take you very far. So he says he's going to get adapter and put it on a paintball tank, which will make it last much longer. So hopefully that'll work out for you there, buddy. And also I'm seeing Madfish Diva. Welcome to the chat. Neo People Sharpton. Neo PP Sharpton? I don't know. S Oak, hello. Welcome to chat. Lumpy Dog, always good to see Lumpy Dog. Julia, welcome. Ryan, welcome. Heather. Hey, Heather, I thought I already had you. Well, guess what? I was a little afraid that, hey, I'm not getting enough mods coming in today, because I haven't, you know, modded much people. So, Heather, welcome to the mod group. Heather's been around. I always see her around. She's always helpful, and she's always there to help out. So, thank you. Rednecks Aquatics. Audi from San Antonio, Texas. Love your channel, and I'm doing some weird stuff in a planet tank. I'm doing it with Oscars, and it's working so far. What do you have in your tank that your Oscar's not chewing up? That's what I would like to know, Redneck Aquatics. That'd be interesting to hear about. 5 full-grown Oscars. Nice. Hey, welcome Stuart Wood, Artwood. Stuart Wood, Artwood. All right, I'll go with that. Little tongue twister there. Hope you guys are doing well. And by the way, apologies if you guys getting noise. Hopefully also the stream is much better than last week. Last week it was on the laptop. I moved upstairs this week until I could fix that laptop. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. But anyways, yeah, the window's open because it's hot as heck today in LA. And it looks like we're getting in that season where it's always going to be hot. So have the window open so you're going to hear planes and cars. I live pretty close to an airport, so yeah. CB82, you can just call me Caleb. I'm in the Facebook group now, thanks. Okay, you're Caleb in the Facebook group. Nice. Gotta remember, Caleb. I have a really good friend named Caleb too, and he's part of my wargaming group. He's a really like incredible painter for miniatures. So that'd be easy to remember. Hey, Caleb, nice to meet you. Hey, welcome, Dave. Hey, I love your last video. Very inspiring. Thanks a lot. God bless. Hey, great. That's what I'm all about. I want to inspire more people to do more planted tanks. And that's the thing. And aquascaping, because it's such a great and wonderful thing to do. Well, I guess a great and wonderful hobby. At least for me anyway. So hopefully it'll become a great, wonderful hobby for you guys. And 1 second here. That was annoying me. You guys can't see here. But anyways, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people to do more planted tanks, to get into it, jump into it, get aquascaping going. And yeah, and when I jump into the reef, I'm going to try to push you guys into that or inspire you guys to do that too. And yeah, if you guys notice, I'm a lot more about the scapes and plants and corals than I am about the actual fish. I mean, I know a lot about fish, but not like say Joey, and some of you guys. Because you guys look at a fish and say, oh, I know what that is. I can do that with plants, but when it comes to fish, it's like, I'm not sure. But anyways, give me a shout out. Let me know if you guys are seeing the video more smoothly and hearing my voice good, well, hopefully. But anyways, I don't know if Turtle Girl is in the house. I saw her last video. She went to Philippines. She swam with the turtles. That was so awesome. I loved that video. So oh, you do wood. Okay, so Stuart Wood Artwood does wood carvings. And your last name is Stuart Wood. That's very cool. That's interesting. You have a YouTube channel on wood carving? I'd love to see that. Because that's kind of like artsy part of the thing about me. I like the artsy part because, doing the aquascaping, plant tanks, it's all about art. I do miniature painting, all about art. Scale models, all about art. Building cosplay costume, all about art. I just like creating. That's my thing. Right next to aquatics, I have an Amazon sword, 3 different kinds with Nubius. You're pretty safe with Amazon swords with the Oscars. Nubius and some Java ferns, so looking for getting more mother swords. But yeah, just get stuff like that. And they shouldn't be chewing on that kind of plants. So you're good. I don't think you're going to do very well if you get anything that's stemmy. Like rotala or anything. They'll eat that usually. Or at least uproot it. So are you getting problems with them uprooting your plants? Because they love to uproot plants. Neil P.P. Sharpton says, I got African cichlids now. I want to try an aquascape. Do it. Do it with your African cichlids. I mean, you don't have to put plants with aquascape. Do an aquascape with rocks and sand. And I've seen some really cool aquascape with African cichlid tanks. It's really, really cool. Okay, thank you for verifying, Julia. Alright, seems good. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure this is on my power machine, so it should be working. Now, I don't know what's on my stupid laptop, but yeah. So if you guys have any questions, go for it. I'm here to answer them. If you guys want to talk about anything, that's cool. Right now, main topic is plants and scapes, so of course, always about plants, but I also want to talk about scaping, because a lot of, when a lot of people talk about aquascaping, we're talking about, Iwagumi style or Dutch style, and you see these like gorgeous scaped tanks, okay, and these expert aquascapers really know what they're doing, and a lot of it has to do with understanding how plants grow. So that's something you should learn, and it's going to help your aquascaping. Now, it doesn't have to be that, how can I say it, structured. Aquascape could be anything. It could be just making your tank look like a jungle, and that's an aquascape and stuff. So if anyone tells you otherwise, then, they're elitists. They're just full of themselves. Everything about aquascaping is an art form. So an art form is really subjective to everyone, right? It's not always about, making the perfect, perfect stem plant bush. It's sometimes being imperfect is an art. So if you guys are, starting to get in planted tanks and you guys want to start looking, at or imagining things that you could do with it, imagine it. Don't be afraid to just, it doesn't have to all be about plants. Plants is part of the decoration. Go look at the driftwoods. Look at the rocks, right? When you go to a local fish store, right? It's important if you could just look at a piece of driftwood and see what you do with, what you can do with it. Okay, and that's what I always do. I tend to go to stores, and I also tend to go to rock quarries, or where they sell rocks, and even just running around in my daily life and just going, oh wait, that might look good in a tank or whatever. And I haven't released a video yet, but in my 75-gallon office build, I actually take you guys, and hopefully it won't get boring, shopping for rocks and driftwood. And then, I grabbed a big piece of driftwood because I wanted some kind of centerpiece to it. And I was looking at it, and I was trying to figure out how it would work and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I got back to the tank and I was putting it in that I realized I'm just going to flip the whole thing around upside down. It'll look way better that way. So, it's all about your imagination, what you can create and stuff. And I've seen some people just go at it, and it's just gorgeous stuff, you know. So you know, you get there, you become a really good aquascaper. You just got to keep practicing. It's just like my last video about, you know, planting tanks. You got to keep practicing. It's all about experience. So we got some questions here, it looks like. Let's see here. Oh, Neo PP's using flagstones and the newbie. That's nice. That'll be cool. Lumpy Dog says he likes looking at aquascape tanks. Oh, I do too. You know what? I get a lot of inspiration by going on YouTube and on Google Images, and just looking through what people made. That one that Mike did from Aqua Pros, the latest one, the desert one, was really cool. I had a similar idea that also someone else did over at Dustin's Aquascape contest, and I wanted to do a whole Arizona look. The red rocks, the red is what I was looking at. I was researching to see if I could use some of the reptile sand that I have, but I'm not sure if I could. I mean, sand, right? But we'll see. But I wanted to do whole thing with petrified wood and a lot of boost, because I haven't really worked with boost before, and that just became recently popular in the hobby. So I'm gonna try something like that. So I'm doing the first dry start and immersed. Dry start and immersed. Well, watch my videos, and actually I have tip videos coming out on it. So let's go through some previews. When you do dry start, make sure you don't have to use nutrient-rich substrate like ADA or soil. You can go with inert substrate, but if you do, make sure that you're spraying your plants with dosed fertilizer water. Okay, it's a little harder to do though. Okay, so it won't grow as fast. If I'm assuming correctly, I've never tried it. Won't grow as fast, but you never know. You could try it yourself. Make sure you cover the tank, but leave, I don't know, a couple inches holes on each side of the corner to make sure you got oxygen exchange. Okay, because if you don't, you're gonna get fungus and all that stuff. Okay, you're also gonna get oxygen exchange for uncovering the tank and spraying your plants during the immersive period. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Sean. Hey, Sean, I haven't seen you in a while. Nice. I'll get to you in a bit. Let's see here. And what else was I explaining? But maybe that's it. And you have to be patient. I mean, I went like 8-9 weeks on my dry start just because I loved just watching it grow. It was really cool. The biggest, I think, the trickiest part about dry start method is when you flood your tank. All right, when you flood your tank, Iwagumi or ADA suggests you could put fish right away, which you can because your substrate's already cycled. The problem with that is that you can't really blast your CO2. And because you're filling up, you flood your tank, your plants was already used to that oxygen CO2 exchange, and they get a lot of it, you know, when they're growing immersed. When you suddenly flood them with water, they're not going to get as much CO2, so you got to pump that CO2 up for a week or two and then slowly dial it down. So that's what I suggest, is that you do that. Wait a week. Once you get it dialed down, then you get out your fish. The other thing is, before you flood or right after you flood, trim your tank, trim your carpet, like literally trim it, okay? Because it's going to be really lush. So if you let it go, the roots on the bottom is going to rot, and then next thing you know, you don't have a carpet anymore. Okay, so trim that carpet right after you flood, before you flood, what have you. And that leads to the next one, which is flood your tank, drain it, flood your tank, drain it. Do it a couple of times just to get all the junk that might have settled in during the dry start period. Okay, let's see, what else is there? And you gotta adjust to the lighting. Okay, because once you put water in that tank, the intensity of the lighting is going to go down. Okay, so you might have to do some adjustment with raising the light or lowering the light or what have you, depending on what kind of lighting you're using. And it was also one final point, is that your plants will die back. And sometimes, if you're unlucky, you will get algae, but the algae will go away within a couple of days. Hopefully, for me, it didn't, because I didn't get algae. I got diatoms, and that kind of screwed up the whole tank. Which at that time I didn't know was I could have simply just blacked it out for 3 days and it would all gone away. You know, that one I kind of found by accident. I knew that you could do that, but I didn't really want to do that. I just did that by accident if you watched one of my previous videos. But anyways, those are my tips for dry start method that I didn't really cover in detail in that dry start method video. That's why I wanted to go back and do, you know, tips for that dry start method. So let me see here. What else we got here? Ryan, you have me sold on doing soil tanks with probably poo filter, sand cap, and what would we say for some shrimp too? Just make sure you don't have too much copper in it. Make sure your tank's fully cycled. You got to remember, when you first soil your tank, you're going to get a huge ammonia spike. All right? And that's normal. If you're doing a whole new tank, you're going to have to cycle it anyways. So it's good. It helps the cycle. You don't have to put any fish in it because you already got ammonia in it. And it'll help the cycle along. Just make sure everything's clean, basically. Okay? And I'm actually, this Sunday's video is about tips on soil tanks, maintaining soil tanks, and some stuff that I forgot to cover in my, soil tank guide that I did, the video guide I did. So if you missed that, there is a video guide. It's about, I don't know, maybe 8 videos ago, I think. I don't know. It's in there though. It's how to set up a soil tank. Okay, right on, Redneck Aquatics. Let me go ahead and make sure. I'm going to go to your channel, but I don't want to throw anything off. There we go. I'll make sure I subscribe to that. 20 tank. Nice. Quick look. Nice. Cool. I'll dig into it later. I like your picture there, bro. I like the whole Redneck Aquatic things you got going there. That's your, that's one of your thing. Thing meaning your catch. Let me see. Look at rocks and wood and a whole new light since aquascaping. Yeah, right? I mean, I'm driving down the freeway and I'm looking at some of the, just nature itself and how everything's all laid out on this freeway, on the side of the freeway when I'm driving by, and I'm like, oh, that might look in the tank and stuff. So it's really cool. It's just like the whole experience. It's beyond the tank itself. When you start looking at it and like, where I'm going to put the rocks, what I'm going to plant, and what I'm going to do to make it look good, etc., etc. So, Julia, question. If one is using carbon in the filter with florist fertilizer, should the carbon be removed? I've tabs beneath the gravel and a couple of drops. Okay, if you're doing a planted tank, you need to take out the carbon. The carbon will remove certain nutrients that the plants need. So, unless you got like an algae bloom, you got green water or something, there's no real reason that you need carbon. Honestly, I don't have carbon in any of my tanks. The only time I would use carbon is if there's something wrong with the water. But I keep the water maintained enough that there's really usually no problems with, the water. I get tannins in the water if I put a new piece of driftwood or if I just soil the tank. But that goes away over time. So there is just no need for carbon. And honestly, I mean, unless you're trying to clear something out, like I said, don't need it. It's an extra expense. Why bother with it unless you really need it? Dave, Bigtus. Sorry, I'm blind, so yeah, Bigtus. I want to know more about liquid ferts, and I'm planning to dose my low tech. What do you think? Any advice? Simple. All-in-one ferts. Okay, it's easy, and you don't need to go through all the rigmarole of understanding what each micro and macronutrients you need and stuff. You only need to target that if you realize your plants are missing something, right? When you start growing plants, okay, you'll start learning about how they react and stuff. So when they start turning yellow, you'll know, oh, they're missing this certain nutrient. They have holes in, they're growing holes in their leaves. They're missing calcium. Okay, stuff like that. If your red plants are supposed to be red, but they're not growing red, you're probably missing iron. Okay, all that stuff is already in the all-in-one fertilizers. So just dose all-in-one fertilizers when you first get started, especially for a low-tech tank. You don't need anything extravagant for a low-tech tank. All right, so all-in-one ferts. I'd say H2O plants have Vital. Okay, I'm starting to use that in an office tank now. It's all-in-one ferts. I looked at the makeup of the ferts, and it looks good. It will provide your plants with micro and macronutrients. Okay, and when I release the fertilizing videos, you understand what micro and macro means. Okay, the other product I know works great for all-in-one is Dustin's fish tanks. He has like, what's that? Well, I forgot what it's called. Anyone out there, I know some of you guys in the chat know what it's called. The other one is Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green, and that worked too. Okay, and all that, if you're growing, it's a low-tech tank, so I don't think you have to worry about iron too much. But if you're going to start putting some kind of red plants in it, you might want to get a bottle of iron as well. Okay, so that is, my suggestion about liquid ferts. Okay, if you're your first time getting into liquid fertilizing, or any fertilizing at all, and you're doing a low-tech tank, then just get all-in-one ferts, and then you can that'll slowly get you into understanding and learning it if you want to. Okay. Also, what is your substrate? If it's inert substrate, I suggest you put root tabs for any root plants that you're growing, like Amazon swords or what have you. Okay. Yeah, those cactuses were awesome. That guy is just a creative genius, honestly. What's up, Big J? Seen Big J in the house. Madfish Diva, I modded you. Thank you for joining almost every week. You're always here. JH Quadix, how you doing, buddy? John Williams. Okay, there's the super chat. Hi, Chung. I love that you've been cranking out the videos lately. Keep it up. Yeah, I've been trying to push my channel. I wanted to get it a little bigger, understanding it more, and just get my name out there. It's all about sharing, and I want to get that get all that information out there, which is kind of cool. A couple of weeks ago when I looked at Social Blade, they said the prediction was in a year I'll hit 11,000 subscribers. So then I'm like, well, I need to push my subscribers up. So what do? We go to a 3-video a week schedule. Okay, so I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks, and then I just double-checked Social Blade again. Now the prediction is saying I'm going to hit over 11,000 subscribers in 4 months. So hopefully, the predictions are usually spot on. So hopefully that'll be really, really cool. And then their updated yearly prediction is 55,000 subscribers. So that would be really cool. It would be really awesome. I'm waiting for my channel to go bigger so I can start pushing the smaller channels as well too. What have you heard about plant dumps? Oh, more context. Are you talking about when plants take a shit? Oops, sorry. Or is this something else that I'm totally unfamiliar with? Starwood, I just set up my first DIY CO2 today. Okay, waiting for a diffuser. My question is, why doesn't the bell capture method work? Doesn't CO2 have like all the time in the world? Yeah, you can just capture it and just let it diffuse in the tank. Now, if you notice, if you look at some of my videos, some recent more videos, if you look behind me on my 20-gallon long, you'll see that. Now you see this like contraption. It's sitting there. That's a CO2 diffuser. Okay, from the Fluval 20G set. What it does is every day I just pump and fill that up with CO2 and just let it normally and naturally dissolve into the water. And you could just totally do that. Just put it, just have your CO2 really slowly, set it up so that it'll just drop CO2 into the bell and then time it with how fast it gets diffused into the water. If you have more plants in the water, it'll diffuse a little faster. Put that bell next to a flow, an outflow somewhere. Okay, and it'll naturally diffuse the CO2 in your tank. And it does work. The only problem is it's not going to push your plants to grow. It's not like pushing it into a diffuser where it's going to, make micro bubbles, and then the micro bubbles is going to instantly dissolve into your water. Okay, the reason why you want to use a diffuser, and a really, really good diffuser, which a lot of people skimp on, and I'll cover that in the CO2 videos, is that you want to, the whole purpose of getting a pressurized CO2 is to push the plants to grow faster. Okay, I literally, when I was doing my Dutch tank, I was literally pushing the tank to grow about 3 to 4 inches every week. Okay, and I did that by setting that environment, pushing the CO2 and diffusing it properly. Okay, and that's what most people use pressurized CO2 for. Now, if you're just supplementing CO2 for your plants, and you want them to grow lush, but you don't need them to grow 4 inches every week. You just want them to grow and be healthy. Then stuff like do-it-yourself CO2, put it into a diffuser bell, will work just perfectly fine. Okay, don't go in the hype where someone comes and says, you need pressurized CO2, you need a diffuser to push out. Okay, if that's not your purpose in growing plants in an aquarium, then don't do it. It's wasting money for you if you do that. And I'm going to tell that to anyone. It's just that you're wasting money if you're not going to try to push your plants to grow fast. Why bother with a pressurized CO2? Set up a do-it-yourself CO2 system, put it in a bell or some kind of container, if you don't mind the look, because that's going to be, that's unsightly in your tank. Okay, but normally when you do something like that and you're going to have guests over or a party, something like that, just remove it. Right? Take it out of the tank so it looks nice. And when your guest leaves and you kick them out, put them back in. And you'll be fine. But yeah, CO2, do your CO2, self-CO2 and put it in a bell will work just fine. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you're not just pushing the plants to grow and you just want them to be healthy, do that. Save money. One in this. Caleb, I'm not exactly sure what that is in regards to. So, and congrats on the new computer. I know you were waiting for that, JH. So that's cool. Yeah, it sucks when you're trying to edit videos on a really slow and bad computer. So, oh, planted sumps. No, planted sumps were great. If you can do it, do it. You're setting a separate ecosystem underneath. You can put your fish in there as for not quarantine, but to separate them if you need to. It helps with the filtration system because you're going to remove nitrates, right? So it's part of the filtration system. So if you want to do plant sump, do it. I don't see why there's a problem with it, and I actually suggest it because that's just additional filtration, not just in your tank, but in your sump, right? Also, a good way to, as a grow out tank too. People use it as a grow out tank. Someone asked me about grow out tanks. What is a grow out tank stuff? It's just another tank where you put your trimmings in and grow them out. Okay, and the reason why you want to do that is if you want to start another planted tank, if you want to sell plants. Like if you get, there's plants that sell really, really well that are common, like AR, right? Shoot, I can't say the name. But anyways, there are plants out there that people readily buy. So you could also make a little money on the side. Don't have to make buku money out of it, but it's still some kind of money, right? The other thing is, what I do is sometimes when I have tons of plants, I would donate it to my local club where they sell it to, fund their, membership. So, oh, Sean, gotta go. I know he's probably left already. Thank you for joining me. I miss you, dude. I mean, we used to talk a lot when I was first making videos on the channel. So, Rednet Aqua, what would your method of procedure be for using wood you get out of locals? Boil the heck out of it. Alright, boil it. Dry it, boil it even some more. Okay, just to get anything that's out of there. Right? And then when you're done, go ahead and put it in your tank. You also get rid of some of the tannins doing it that way. But I just watch it. Make sure you get something that's already been in the lake or streams. Right? So it's already gone through its process and stuff. But I think some of you guys or some of us Aquarius know that when you buy a new driftwood and you put in your tank, sometimes you'll get fungus. That's just the wood rotting, okay? It's just part of the process. And that will go away after a couple of weeks, a few weeks. Okay, so nothing to worry about. You'll get a lot of that if you take it directly straight out from something that hasn't been soaking in water or what have you. So that's what my understanding of what to do when you get out of your local stream or lake. But you also want to kill out any bad things that's on the wood. So make sure you boil it, dry it, boil it, dry it a couple times. Using rhizomat, coconut filter in the mat. Okay. Again, context. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I get lost. I get scatterbrained sometimes. Susan, how you doing? Love you. You can see Susan on board. And I scrolled too fast and I lost everyone in here. I already named some all-in-one fruits, buddy. I suggest mainly because right now I've worked with H2O Plants and he knows what he's talking about. I didn't even know he had his own line of fertilizers he's had out for a while. But I just got it and I go with him. He knows his stuff. He got great customer service. He'll take care of you. I mean, so does Dustin. So does Corey at Aquarium Co-op. So really, they're all about the same makeup. Okay, so they'll all do the same job. So, you know, really up to you of which one fits you better. You know, which one you want to support more. JH, you can find me on Facebook. Look for Chung Chow. Look for the link at the bottom of my video for the Aquarium, the Waterbox Facebook group. Join that. You'll see me post there, and you could just friend me from there. JH, no, I don't use XSplit. I use OBS. I stopped using XSplit a long time ago, mainly because it's very cumbersome for my computer. You'll find that OBS is a lot more less intensive on your computer, so it streams a little better. At least that's how I found. I haven't touched XSplit in a long time though, so. Sorry, I'm behind. I just want to make sure I catch all your questions. So that's the case of carbon inserts. Oh wait, yeah, to me, now it's difference of opinion, Julia. Okay, so some people say carbon helps. You need carbon. Some people say you don't need it. Some people say you only need it when you need it. And I'm one of those guys. You need it when you need it. You don't need it all the time. Okay, so you're kind of wasting money if you're always putting carbon as part of your filtration system, because, you know, as long as you're keeping your tank clean, your water clarity should be okay, you know, unless you add something weird to it. Yeah, Sikkim Perigon, if you have tannins, that helps remove tannins. But again, I always do the natural way. Just do water changes. They'll go away after a few months. Depending on how bad it is. J Martin 01, I'm currently using a 20-ounce paintball tank for my 20-gallon. Okay, do you think upgrading to a 24 and using 20 as a backup will be a good idea? 24 and 20 ounces is not going to get much of a big difference. I'm using all 24s mainly because I just like the bigger tanks. But you're going to get about the same amount. Maybe, you know, you get a little more out of the 24 ounce. So unless you want to change it, you don't need to. Does clay work for iron? Yes, it does. Clay does work for iron. If you see my soiling, how to set up a soil tank, I put potting clay into my soil. I use that as a source of iron. And my Amazon and root plants love it. Some all-in-one fertilizer called Thrive. I don't know what that one is, but I will check it out. But, you know, there's so many, you know, ferts out there. And for all you UK and Europe people, there is TCP, I believe. Shoot, I don't remember. I contacted them. I asked them for an empty bottle because a lot of the European and UK viewers are asking me where they can get all-in-one ferts that I suggest because they're having a hard time getting it here in the US. So I'll have to get the info on that later. I'll do a video on it once I get the follow in. Also, by the way, I know for sure that H2O Plants Vitals all-in-one ferts work for shrimp tanks. There's no copper in it, so you should be okay using that. He also has a version, a lighter version for goldfish, which is for sure safe for shrimp. It's just less potent. Okay, Lumpy Dog uses Easy Green, and he highly suggests that. Nice, so you got a suggestion there. So okay, Campy 82 currently dosing API, CO2 boosters, and API leaf zone. I alternate with fluorine K potassium. Am I missing anything important? Okay, quick rundown. Hopefully I can get this right. Macronutrients your plants need is potassium, nitrogen, NPK. NPK is the the chemical compounds that's in macronutrients. So it's potassium, nitrogen, and another one. I don't know if you chemical freaks out there can tell me. Sean was here to be able to say, I always forget. Alright, so those are the macronutrients you need for plants. The micronutrients are calcium, magnesium, and all that. There's actually a slew of that. Okay, so so what you want to do when I say all in one first, they all have all that in there, the macro and micronutrients in there. Okay, so if you're doing for all in one first, you don't need to dose potassium or anything like that. Okay, unless you need to specifically target that nutrient because you're missing it because your plant is starving in that nutrient. Okay, so that's why I suggest all in ones. But if not, then you're gonna have to go and get something that will dose all the micronutrients, which is something like Seachem Flourish has all the micronutrients. And then if you go the Seachem route, you're gonna have to buy 3 bottles for the macros. Okay, again, nitrogen, potassium, and that other damn nutrient I keep forgetting about. Hopefully one of you guys are saying it. Phosphorus, thank you. Those guys, thank you. I haven't gone down yet. Oh my god, I am so behind, guys. So potassium, yeah, that's the other macronutrients. Ender Flight, cleaning your rocks for your tanks, perfect. We've all been there. By the way, guys, we got some other YouTubers that my mods in here. Susan, YouTuber, Heather, YouTuber. Check out their channels. I'm pipping them. Good to know. Oh, there's Loach guy. Loach guy has been a friend of mine forever. I tell him next time he comes in my chat, I'm gonna mod him because I need help. So, Julia, that was for Susan. Lucio Z8. I'm not sure if she's talking about Charlie in the chat or she thinks I'm Charlie, but she says he, she. If I could tell, it's hard. The icons are small. I have a 10-gallon tank and a 29-gallon. Do you think CFL bulbs on a 29 or a 10-gallon would work for a carpet Monte Carlo plant with LC2? Yeah, it should. You should be okay. Get daylight bulbs because you're more in the range of you're more in the range of what the plants need. That's not okay. When I say CO2, 65K or 62K daylight bulbs, okay, everyone's gonna say that you need that to grow a plant. Okay, that is just the color of the light. It really doesn't affect the plants at all. That's not a factor in what you need the plants to grow. That is a totally different thing. That's we're gonna go in par ratings on that, and that's a whole huge discussion. I'm gonna have a video again about that stuff later. Okay, but what you need to do is when I say that, that just gets you into the range of, like, for example, CFL bulbs, right? You get from Home Depot or what have you, right? Most of the time, if you get the daylight bulb that says daylight bulbs on it, you're pretty much going to fall in the range of getting that intensity that the plants need to grow. Okay, so for a 10 gallon and 29 gallon, 10 gallon will work for sure. 29 gallons, it depends on how many you're going to use. 29 gallons about 18 inches high. Okay, so the height of, especially when you're growing a carpet plant like Monte Carlo, the height of from the light to the substrate matters. Okay, the higher it is, the less intensity is going to hit the substrate. The good thing about Monte Carlo is that it doesn't need that much light. It's about medium light to grow. So assuming that you're going to use some intense CFL daylight bulbs, and you're going to put enough of it to cover, your whole tank, because that's another factor you have to look at, is the coverage of your tank. Okay, so put enough bulbs, maybe use 2, 3. I don't know what kind of bulbs they're going to use. Okay, you should be okay even without CO2. Thanks, Susan, for linking that for JH. I hate this chat. It always auto-scrolls. Alright, JH, thank you for sending this friend request. I'll approve it in a bit. Neo PP, you said, if I set up a planted sump for use on established African tank, would PU filter sand work first? Yes, you could do that. Yeah, you could do that. Depends on what kind of plants you grow. You also have to watch out because you're limited. If you're doing an African cyclic tank, that means you're going to have hard water. Okay? So you're going to have high pH. So depending on the plant, a lot of plants I notice that I use always like soft water. Again, depends on the plant. You guys hearing the ice cream truck? I want ice cream now. Damn it. Okay, and by the way, if I did skip your question, ask it again. No problem. Because you guys are asking a lot of questions, scrolling by really quick. Hey, D's in the house. I'm way behind. Sorry. All right, Caleb. See you later. I'll check your post later. He's probably already gone. Thrive is good. Okay, I'll look into it. Yeah, Lumpy Dog agrees with me on the carbon too. Yeah, so again, if you don't need carbon, don't use it. It's really even if you don't have plants, you don't need to. It's an extra expense you don't need unless you need it. It's one of those things. You only need it if you need it. Okay? So Ryan says, if I do put shrimp in my tank, make sure the ferts don't have copper. Yeah. Okay, some ferts have copper in them. And good ferts actually tells you what's on the bottom or on the bottle. They'll tell you what's in the fert or, in the product. Marketing materials. They'll tell you what the breakdown is in the ferts. Just make sure there's no copper. Okay, copper kills shrimp. But if you want for sure that's safe for shrimp, I know Aquarium Co-op, Easy Green, and Planet H2O, all-in-one ferts work. They don't have copper in it. I'm not entirely sure about Dustin's Power Grow or whatever he has there. But you can always ask him. He'll answer you. Oh my god, those guys just said phosphorus. Am I that far behind, guys? Holy crap. I like answering questions. And I like discussion about with you guys here. What do you think about the beans work high output, 10,000 lumens light, 72 inch? I have 2 of them on a 210. Do I need more light? 210 is what, 22 inches high? Now I heard a lot of good things about the Beamworks high output lights. I unfortunately don't know the power rating on them, so I'll have to do research on that. If I know the power rating on them, and I know how high your 210 is, then I will be tell you, if it'll work or not, depending on the plant you're going to grow. Man, my mods are working overtime. Oh, by the way, mods, I'm making a mod shirt. So once I get that going, I'm gonna buy you guys a mod shirt. I want to make it funny. I'm gonna make it fun somehow. I know Fish Tanks, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Sorry, Victor. Talk about ice cream. Yeah, I want some soft served ice cream right now. It is pretty warm today in LA. Nice JH, use Easy Green. Very nice. Okay, I think we're going through all the questions maybe now. Now everyone's talking about ice cream. Sorry, guys. So I got everyone in ice cream. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. If I missed your questions, please ask it again. But yeah. So anyways, yeah. I think Plants and Scapes. I don't know if you guys have any question about scaping, aquascape. That's a little harder. That's more very what do you call it? Very abstract to talk about. So, and it's always based on, taste. So, oh, you know what, guys? I'm going to do something here. Okay. That people we always did on our wargaming channel. Okay, and I don't know how many people we have in the chat right now. All right, 27 people watching. So 27 of you guys can help here. Okay, what we're going to do, and I think the Loach guy, if he's still in here, knows what I'm doing. Let me find her channel. So I'm going to nominate a channel. Okay, if I can find her link. And what we're going to do is we're going to comment bomb a live stream, comment bomb someone's channel. Okay? So let me get her first video, or last video, latest video. Okay, hopefully it's muted. So here's what you do, guys. I'm going to post the link to her video. This is Ray's Aquaria. So go there and comment bomb her. Alright? Hit that link on another window. Pop it open. And then just leave a comment and just say, greetings from the water box, or watching the water box says hi, or something like that. Something funny, witty, or whatever. And yeah, well, this is something we used to love doing. Let's do this, alright? Hit that video and just say, water box sends his regards or something. You can make it really mysterious. Maybe that'll freak her out or something like that. But yeah, let's do that right now. We'll do that. And then we'll do another channel. I think this is fun. If you guys got any suggestions for another channel to comment bomb, we'll stick that into the chat and link it. That's the thing. You got to comment bomb someone that's not in the live, because that's what makes it fun, They wake up and they're like, hey, what's with all these comments all of a sudden? Mark Osborne, I came from the aquaponics side. The only thing I usually have to add is iron. I have my first shrimp tank going, and it's fascinating. Nice. That's really cool to see someone from aquaponics doing and getting into aquarium, planted aquariums. You'll find a lot of stuff is similar and a lot of stuff that isn't. So, yeah. Okay, and thanks for anyone that's leaving a comment bomb. It's only 27 people now. This is going to be fun if I ever get bigger and we got tons of people in here. Let's comment bomb the heck out of people. Let's comment bomb someone small. Let's comment someone small. Let's see here. Because Ray is queer. I love watching her channel. She's getting pretty big. I'm jealous. We're small. I watch a lot of bigger YouTubers. Ah! I don't think she's in here, is she? Life with Fish is not in here? She should be asleep, right? Alright, cool. Let me get this in here. There you go. Comment bomb her for her video right here. Live with Fish. She'll get a kick out of that. Just tell her that Waterbox sends his regards. Because it's so scary sounding, right? Waterbox sends his regards. Where's his money, damn it? Too bad we don't have anyone named Vinny in this chat. Oh wait, Vinny could go give these comment bombs. Say, hey, Chunk sends his regards. He wants his money. Philly Man Pete. Oh, sorry if I got really loud. So Philly Man Pete Chung, have you ever grown? Oh yeah, Althanaria. I know that. I know I grown it because I could hardly pronounce it, and I always fumble that name whenever I say it in my video. Bought some set today, and I need some tips. Lots of lighting, lots of ferts, lots of CO. That's AR, right? Depending on what kind of Althanaria you got. Okay, if you want to go really lush and red, like especially the underleaves red, oh my god, give it iron, give it ferts, give it CO2, give it high lighting. The thing will grow. Now, Philly, go check out my 20-gallon Dutch build, and you can see how my Althanaria Alti are growing in that whole series. Okay, and they go really nice and bushy. But that tank, I was blasting CO2 in it and having some decent highlighting in it. So, stock densely, the shrimps are right to watch. Yes, shrimps just love. If you have a really densely planted tank, shrimps love it. John C. Hello, newbie aquascaper here. Nice. I've been following consistently. Awesome. Thank you. Love you for following. Thank you for your guides and tips. More power from Philippines here. Oh, nice. Man from the Philippines. I like the Philippines. I like Filipino food. I'm not Filipino. I'm Chinese, but I like Filipino food. Not that there's a difference in our foods. There is actually a difference. Probably American people would be like, it's just Asian food. You know, and some of it's weird, right? To us, it's like normal, but there is a difference. Oh, I could tell the difference. I'll know. I'm like, oh, that's Filipino dish, and my friends be like, it's Asian food, it's Chinese food. And it's the fun thing is like when they ask me, hey, can your mom make General Tso's chicken or something? I'm like, dude, that's not a real dish, okay? That's something you Americans made up. You know, so it's funny. Ryo, how many tanks do you have? Currently, I have up and going 3 tanks. 4 if you include the office tank. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tanks. All right, but there's only 1 tank that I'm paying attention to that I'm actually actively maintaining. Okay, my 40 gallons going to be rebooted into a Dutch style tank, and I'm rebooting my Uigumi style tank and going to dry start it again, do a whole new video on using soil to dry start. And I have 10-gallon tanks, which, you know, I let my tanks go a while ago, a few months back, and then I came back to do videos again because my job got busy. That's why I left. And then, you know, because I started a new job, so I had to get used to everything. And then I just got back, and that's why suddenly I just started pumping videos out, and some of my old subscribers like going, whoa, where'd you come from all of a sudden again? You know, so, yeah, so I have 5 tanks, 6 if you include office tank, and 2, 3 tanks that are not built up. I have a 120-gallon that's just sitting there right now, my 55-gallon just sitting there right now, and a 60-gallon that's just sitting there right now. I haven't set up yet. But I had a lot of tanks. When I was in this hobby, what was that, 15 years ago? I had tons of tanks. I had like 10 or 11 or something like that. It's crazy. Oh, but Ryan, you said planted tanks. They're all planted. Currently, all the tanks I have, they're all planted. Except for the 2 10-gallons, because I took all the plants out to put it in my office tank. Yeah, I know. I can't say half the names of the plants. I love growing them. I just can't talk to them. Well, not talk to them, but name them. AR minis. I love AR minis. I need AR minis. Caleb, I thought you left. What's up with that? No, I didn't see your picture posted on Facebook yet. I'm live streaming, so I'm not looking at the. I'm trying not to pop up too many browsers. Keep the stream speed fast. Because I need that processor speed to, process the stream. Angela, I like burritos. I like burritos too? Okay, now you're going to make me get burritos for dinner. I hate you. Thank you, Angelo. MTS is a mother, isn't it? Yes, MTS is a big mother. You should check out my MTS video. Victor's gonna get really fat. Yeah, I know, right? Talking about food all the time. You know what would suck is I'm on a live stream one day of me just eating food. For some reason, that's a thing. People live stream them eating food, especially the Japanese. I don't know why it's a thing, or no, it's Koreans, right? I don't know why it's a thing, but they get tons, I mean millions of subscribers, and they sit there in front of the camera eating food. I just sit here in front of the camera eating plants. Ew. I'm gonna need a lot of ranch. I have a 10 and a 20 and a 10 in apartment size of a shoebox. That sucks. Yeah, space is always limited. That's why I hate that. Well, welcome back, Caleb. Nice to have you back. Campy or Caleb, how about Crypt Wendetti Pink Panther? Have you ever seen? No, I heard about that though. There's some of these really cool plants that are just like really hard to get, or you know, not popular, but just hard to get in this hobby. And I watch Justin from HCO Plants, and he gets some of these gorgeous stuff in, and man, he gets some of these really weird plants. I'm like, oh, I just don't want to pay that much for it. It's just crazy. So, tell us about your local favorite local fish store. I actually have 3, and one of them I just did a recent video on. Tuesday's video, Philly. If you watch the Denied by Petco video, where they shut me down for filming in there, I actually go to one of my favorite local fish stores, which is Rainbow Fish or Rainbow Aquariums. That's in Arleta, California. The other ones, my other favorite is Mark's Fish, which is in Studio City, and there was another one I don't forget. Oh, one of my all-time favorites is CK Fish World, and the problem with that one is the drive from me. The reason why the CK Fish World is I like that because one, it's a huge store. Okay, so there's tons of fish, and the other thing is they really stock the plants. They have a nice selection of plants. So, and any local fish store that just carries tons of selection plants, and not just tons, but has harder to find plants there, is going to be probably one of my top favorites. Okay, that being they had HC there, a lot of HC. Oh, there is a 4th aquarium that store that I go to. It's called Nature's Aquarium down in Santa Monica. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Down in Santa Monica, and I love that store. It's a tiny store, but first of all, the guy that owns it is Japanese, so you got that whole iwigumi feel when you walk in, and he's an ADA dealer, right? So huge ADA dealer. So when you walk in, there's ADA tanks everywhere. That's where I get my ADA Aqua soil. If I don't want to order from Amazon, and he's really fun to talk to because he's into that whole iwigumi style aquascaping and stuff. So if you're in LA, Nature's Aquarium, Santa Monica. Okay, if you want to source any ADA stuff, okay, he's got tons of stuff there. So it's just expensive for me. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, look at the ADA tank. Oh, it's only $130. Oh, 20-gallon tank from Petco. I'll just de-rim that for only $20 on their $1 a gallon sale. I know I suck, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you just got to go cheap. You can make stuff that's cheap look really good, right? Yeah, I close tanks down. I'm one of those guys that really do shuffle tanks around. I'll build a tank and I'll do it for a few months, and then I do sometimes get bored of it. So what happens is I'm like, I'm just going to restart this tank. You know, move all the plants, move all the fish to one of my other tanks. That's the great thing about having multiple tanks, and just completely redo that whole tank. You know, and then cycling, there's no cycling problems because that tank's already been running. It's already cycled. So I have the media to keep the tank cycled. So, yeah. Austerity clause. Is it normal for my Luigia pentel to turn white on top? The top? Under highlight? Yes. New black box. Oh, black box. Next to it is turning pink. No. You want that. Alright? When it turns pink, well, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to get out of it, right? If you're pentanal, I think it's pronouncing it right, going to turn right on the tips, it's usually how they grow, especially when you got too much highlight. That's them kind of like saying, whoa, too high, I'm just going to start concentrating on growing lower. Okay. The pink thing is good, though. Rotalia rotifolia, when it turns pink, you get that nice pink coloring. It's gorgeous. But if it's turning white and you want that, you might have to raise the light up a little. But yeah, that's probably from it getting too high, too close to your lights. And I've done that before. I've looked at my plants. I'm like, whoa, this does not like the highlight, or it does like the highlight, just not doing, changing the coloring that I don't like. So I will raise the lights up. And sometimes it just takes an inch or two. So you stop going to the dollar a gallon sales, ran out of room. Yeah, I know how that is. That's why you gotta get smart and build those like shelves where you can fit 50 tanks in a 10 by 10 room. Have you learned that a lot of the rare, hard to find plants are readily available as tissue culture plants for cheaper than buying? Or yeah, and the tissue culture plants is actually kind of fun because you're growing them from little stemlings. It's like growing Groot. When Groot died, he came back as a little baby Groot, and then he became teenage Groot, and then you're just waiting to become big Groot. So you gotta Groot your tanks, Groot your plants. That's the thing now. We're Grooting plants. So you buy tissue culture plants. We're gonna call that Grooting plants. Okay? I just coined the phrase. Grooting your plants. Cool? Cool. Spread it around. Otherwise, it wouldn't mean anything. See here. I learned a lot from my local fish plant store, So Lucky, and library books, and now YouTube. Yeah, if you get a really good local fish store that really cares and sells you stuff that you need, not what you want, that's kind of a diamond in a rough. Because a lot of people now are just trying to survive, and you can't kind of blame them. They're trying to shuffle you fish or plants or stuff that you don't need or you shouldn't have at this point in time. But finding a store that cares and stuff, I think that's going to carry a long way. And I wish it, and I want to find these stores, and we need it. I think as YouTubers, if you guys are YouTubers, we need to find our local fish store, and we need to give it as much press as possible, right? Of course, without killing your channel, but going there all the time, filming you going there, talking about them, and everything like that, really helps them grow. And, leaving links down and just letting people know they exist, because I think a lot of people find nowadays it's hard to find local fish stores because they're closing down, right? We got the internet now. But I think especially something like Nature's Aquarium, when you have that guy that sits behind that counter that knows so much about aquascaping, about about plants and fish, that you just can't buy that kind of customer service. You go there and you learn so much just by going there, and that encourages you to buy. I mean, I don't know. That is the formula years ago. It should be the formula now. It's just harder on the internet. Now you got people like me, putting out videos to tell you what to do. It's nice, but it's not as personal, right? It's a little impersonal. That's why I like doing the live chats, because I'm more personal with you guys. So, Bonzo Sam, thank you for your videos. They helped me get into this hobby as a beginner. Good. That's what I want to do. I want to get people in. New people. New, fresh blood. Well, we call them fresh fish, right? So Bonsai, you are a fresh fish. Everyone call him a fresh fish. Say Bonsai is a fresh fish. We do that. It's kind of like sitting in a jail cell. If you guys seen whoa, shoot. Why can't I think of the name of that movie? Redemption. Shawshank Redemption. When the new guy comes in, they're like fishing for him, fresh fish. Hey, fresh fish, hey, fresh fish. Yeah, we are Groot. That's right, we are Groot. Austin Claus, what are your thoughts? OC EI versus Thrive Plus. I need to get off the CChem scam. Look, I'm not going to say anything about that, okay? I mean, I got my own opinions on the CChem scam, okay, which is horrible. Because if you understand it, if you understand fertilization and stuff like that, then you look at the way that CChem does it and how they do flourish and how they do the 3 macros in one bottle and the price on of it. I mean, you can't blame them. They're a company. They gotta, make a living or whatever. But it is what Austria says is a scam. I mean, it looks like a scam. It feels like a scam. Especially when I'm going to buy dry fruits for quarter of the price and dosing it that way. So, now I don't know what that first word is. Nilo-CG EI. I'm pushing saying EI dosing, right? Versus Thrive Plus. I never used Thrive Plus, so I can't tell you. But EI dosing works great. And I love EI dosing because I can control how much of the macronutrients and the micronutrients are going in my tank. So if I see that something needs more potassium, something needs more phosphates, something that needs more nitrogen, then I know how to dose based on that. I don't have to put a whole squirt of fertilizer into the tank. If I just need nitrogen, I'll just dose a little more nitrogen, right? But EI dosing is really simple. You can't go wrong with EI dosing. The whole point of EI dosing is to dose it a lot of fertilizer, right? So that plants will eat it up. In order to work, you got to push CO2 so that CO2 and high lighting so that the plants will grow and outgrow the algae from eating the nutrients, because you're putting a lot of nutrients into the tank, right? And then you reset the tank every week. The problem with EI dosing and the whole regimen of that is that you have to do 50% water changes every week. So it does get tedious after a while. But if you just do that one golden grail tank that you love so much, then 50% water changes every week is worth it, right? Hopefully you guys agree with that. See you later, Mark Osborne. It was nice to have you in chat. And yeah, looks like we're slowing down here, and we are going to 7 p.m. So we're almost an hour out. So we're going to close down this chat soon. I only want to go an hour on these live chats. Don't want to go too long like we did last week when it was all choppy. So anyone last questions or anything like that, please leave down below. Oh, Nilo-CG is a brand name. Okay, then I did not know that. I don't know anything about that. So I will have to look into it. So that's a lot of things, guys. When I'm doing these videos and stuff, there's a lot of research. I don't know everything, right? I just know enough to understand it. And then I have to do the research to figure it out to convey it to you guys. So I don't know everything. I don't understand. A lot of... Here's the thing about making YouTube videos. And I know this because I've been making YouTube videos forever. I just haven't been making aquarium videos forever. Just YouTube videos, right? Is that even in my wargame hobby where I'm teaching people how to airbrush miniatures or airbrush scale models, I don't know everything. I'm good at what I'm doing, but even being good at what I'm doing, I don't know everything. And that's the first thing. You can't know everything in what you're doing. So you have to do the research before you make the video. And even if doing the whole research, I could spend a whole night, 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights doing research on video and still miss things, okay? That's why I do follow-up videos. That's why I do those tip videos. And I say, hey, remember that dry start video I made? Well, here are 10 more tips to help you out. I need to make those videos because I miss a lot of things in that video. A lot of people watch it, not going to know I missed it, right? They'll know it's just like a addendum to the video. They'll like, oh, so that's what he meant originally in the video. So, that's going to happen. I don't know all the products out there, People are like, oh, how do you like the Fluval FX4? I wish I could have one. I don't have one, though, so I can't tell you. But what I do know is the Suns, because that's what I use. So I won't tell you if something's good or bad unless I've used it or I had an understanding of it. So I won't look into dry fruits. I don't know they exist until your channel. Yeah, dry fruits. And I will do a video on that. Just gotta have to wait. Everyone voted on, I think a couple live chats ago, everyone voted on having a lighting, a Planet Tank lighting series first before the CO2 and before the fertilization series. There's going to be 3 series that I go in depth into about those 3 major factors, right? That stems from the Planet Tank, the Beginner's Planet Tank Guide, right? So the whole point is, you watch that series, the Beginner Planet Tank Guide, get used to it, start doing planet tanks, and then suddenly I hit you with the hardest stuff. And then not hard. I'm not going to start spouting science at you because I'm horrible at science. But I'll get more in depth about it. I just kind of mention lighting, kind of mention CO2, kind of mention fertilization in those beginning guides. But then when I hit those videos, it's going to be like, I think 5 videos on lighting itself, right? Understanding lighting, what it means, what PAR means, why, people saying spectrum don't really mean that much, daylight, 65K and all that. That has some bearing on it, but that's a minor bearing on it. Austerity clause, I put water in my garden so dry fruits. Do you pour them in dry? All right, a lot of people, they mix it in aquarium water in a little container, and then they dissolve it and dump it in. I dump it in the tank. I actually dump it in dry. So you do it both ways. It really is up to you. But I guess you get more spread if you just dump them in already dissolved into a little container of tank water. Yeah. So if you put the water in my garden. So if you're doing gardening or aquaponics, you probably have dry fruits. So I guess you're already set, right? NPK is the same thing. NPK and the micronutrients. No, I haven't started Patreon yet. I'm not sure if I want to, because if I start Patreon, I want to add something extra, and I've been thinking about doing that. I've been thinking if I start Patreon, then I have to add something special for my patrons. Patreon only chats, but everyone does that, and I can do Patreons only chats, hangouts and stuff. So that's one option. Also, I was thinking about doing a kind of little online magazine kind of thing too for just Patreons, but I don't know if I have that much time to put into it. I mean, I could publish, make it look nice and stuff, because I used to publish online magazines for wargaming, for role playing, and I have I wrote a program and all that stuff for it, and I don't know. I just don't know about Patreon yet. I should just to put it up, but I have to figure out what the hook is, right? If you become a patron, what would you do? For right now, I'm happy with super chats, right? I'm happy with if you guys go buy a shirt, that always helps. Watching my video always helps, right? Clicking affiliate links in my video description always helps, right? So that's not direct. I'm not directly asking you for money when that happens. At least if you go buy one of my shirts, you're actually getting a shirt, right? And maybe I'll design more shirts, maybe. Some witty shirts that you guys might like, other than just a logo shirt like this. That could get boring, right? So maybe I'll design more shirts and stuff and get, some funding that way. So Patreon's going to come on a little later. Maybe I will put one up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It depends. So Redneck Aquatics, I do 50% water changes in all my tanks. 1 to 10, 155, 2, 3, and oh my gosh, dude. Tons of tanks. Either you're telling me about all your tanks, or you're just giving me some algebra. So it has to be tanks. It's the aquarium channel, right? So it must be tanks, right? Well, snap, I change 50% of water in my tanks every week, which comes to about 280 gallons a week. On all your tanks, 50%. Why are you doing 50% water changes? No, that's another thing too. A lot of people do 50% water changes, and I ask them why is it, every week, and that's a lot. It helps, yeah, sure, but if you don't really need to, don't push it, right? The reason why I do 50% water, I don't do that anymore, but I did because I was doing EI dosing for my Dutch style tank. But most of the time I don't even do 50% water changes on my other tanks. I do about 25% water changes every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Again, I overrun filters on my tanks, number one. So I always get a bigger filter than I need for a tank. And number two, they're heavily planted, right? So all that nitrate buildup rarely happens. Okay, unless something goes wrong, then yeah. But that's how I know, right? If the nitrate readings are spiking one week, then I know something's wrong with the tank. I gotta go figure it out. You know. See you later, Susan. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for modding. Love you. Have a good night. No problem on the 411. Nice. All right, we're gonna close down. I just love talking to you guys. We're gonna shut down the stream. Okay, so any last questions? Let me know. Put it down below. Thank you for joining me. Really love you guys. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, and all that stuff that you guys do to help me out. That that always helps grow my channel. If you ever want to support me, the best way is to do that. But of course, all the other stuff, buying a T-shirt, super chats and all that, always helps. So and clicking those affiliate links and stuff like that. So yeah, I want to see you guys more often. I want to get to know your names. Get that familiar. Redneck Aquatics, definitely remember that. Check out some of your videos. I know it looks like you are just starting up the channel or whatever. I hope to see more. S. Oaks and Angelo, Lucio, Stuart Wood, Artwood. I want to remember that because that's kind of cool. Stuart Wood, Artwood. Ryan, Victor, thank you for joining me. I recognize some of your names from the last chats. No Sam. I want to see you guys in. Yeah, man, just leave a comment. Got questions in any videos? I'll answer them the best I can, man. Awesome, guys. All right, hey, man, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Love you guys. Get wet with your tanks and have fun out there. The camera's right here. I'm looking at my screen, but the camera's right here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.